Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our weekly Practice Accelerator Challenge. We're so excited to see you this week. We've got an awesome topic we'll be covering. So today's topic will be covering Fitness 50 at age 100. It's an amazing tool that Regan and Dan Sullivan have been putting together, which I'm sure is super fun for you, Regan, because he's such an amazing mentor of yours.
Yes, and that's probably his Fitness 50 at age 100 is probably a Dan Sullivan term. So just so you guys know, it might be trademarked, but he has had me create this cool tool. So I'm so excited about it.
Awesome. Me too. Before we hop into all the goods of that, I just wanted to remind you all that session 2 will be happening June 3rd and 4th. It will be happening at the lovely, lovely Hotel Monaco in Salt Lake City. It's going to be a really fun weekend in Salt Lake City. It's Pride weekend that weekend, I guess. So there's probably a ton to do. That hotel is absolutely gorgeous. We're really excited to be hosting there. So make sure that you get registered. Live registration cuts off for me. Hold on, I'm gonna look at my calendar before I tell you. May 20th is going to be my last day for live registration. You can virtually attend up until the day before. You may or may not get the workbook in time if you kind of push it to the end, but I'll do my best to get you what you need. So make sure you get registered. It's going to be great. We're going to be covering the materia medica of medicine. We're gonna have a really cool panel discussion on IVs, psychedelics, hormones, herbal medicine, peptides, all the good stuff.
Beautiful.
So it's gonna be a fun weekend in Salt Lake City.
Oh man, it's actually one of the most lively weekends in the city, like of all year. So that's really exciting. And I think what you guys are going to see is some really cool, amazing people dressed up in crazy costumes and people just having a really good time celebrating life. So yeah, don't miss it live. That is, I'm so excited. We're going to be downtown for that. Well, sweet. Well, today we're going to talk about this great tool, and I'll share with you kind of this exploration that I've been on with Dan Sullivan. You know, I'm in his group, Free Zone Frontier, and this is and Strategic Coach. And if you guys are not a member of Strategic Coach, look into it. It has changed my whole entrepreneurial life. I look at Dan Sullivan as the Lao Tzu of entrepreneurs because he looks at things through such a different lens. And he does it in a way that he helps create freedom of purpose, freedom of time, freedom of relationships, and freedom of money. But he's really helped shape my thinking as an entrepreneur. And I had the great pleasure of helping him out on this journey that he's on to live to be 156. And so of all the projects in my life, I'm always looking for things that can accelerate longevity, not only for him, but for myself, my family, and for the Go Wellness community. And so you've probably seen over the years that I've been picking up on a lot of things, like mTOR pathways, AMPK, David Sinclair, stem cells. I mean, all these cool things that we know extend life, but then also keeping it couched in some of the Eastern philosophies, like taking care of yourself, not burning your jing out or your essence, and making sure you're eating right, getting the right exercise in. But this tool was something that I was in Chicago and Dan came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm working on this concept. It's called the Fitness 50 at age 100." And I said, "Oh, it was a clever title." And he's a genius at using words, and he's somewhat of a wordsmith and copywriter himself. And so he said, imagine you're 100, but you want to be a high level 50, like a high performing 50-year-old from a fitness perspective. And so I said, okay, let me do some research. And so a lot of this data, it comes from like the Mayo Clinic, Harvard University, and then from some of the biohacking, influencers or sites, and then some of my own ideas about what I think is fitness. And so let's just all imagine for a minute that we are the age 100. And how many of you want to live to be to 100? I mean, I think hopefully everyone on this does. But the reason why we wouldn't want to live to be 100 is if we weren't physically active, if we couldn't do the things we want to do from a mental and cognitive perspective, The reason we would not want to live to be 100 is if we didn't have the finances to do it, if we didn't have any kind of purpose, if there's no reason to get out of bed. I think we'd all be like, all right, I'm not really stoked that I decided to live to be super old. But once you have those things taken care of, and then you have great relationships, I think there's a huge meaning behind life, and we have this just desire and this will to live. And so the Fitness 50 is, I'm going to challenge you guys to take these, these different tests and do them on your own to see how you rank. And this is iteration 1, and we're going to get iteration 2 and iteration 3. And you guys, if you didn't listen to the last podcast episode, make sure you listen to it, because it's going through the whole 12-month sequence. Once somebody finishes your Accelerate Wellness program, they're ready for more. And then we have a whole 12-month process that will take them on this journey. But the Fitness 50 at age 100 is 4 major categories: upper body strength, lower body strength, balance and coordination. And then the 4th category is endurance. And so these, in my mind, are some of the major things that we want them to do. And remember, in your 12-month, the lifetime health accelerator programs, those are going to be critical, because you want to put in the DEXA scan, and that's where you can see if they're actually putting on more muscle, if their bone density is improving. All of those things are in that tool. And so we will be releasing these tools, the finalized version, very soon. Once again, Fitness 50 at age 100. This is a Dan Sullivan term, and so I am borrowing it from him. But here's the criteria. So upper body strength. So first test you want to do is see how many push-ups you can do in 50 seconds. And just give it a try. So I'm going to wait while you guys do your push-ups. Okay, how many did you get? All right, so 50 seconds is great. There's a study that was done with firemen, and they basically gave them, I think it's a 40-second test, but they looked at the overall mortality of firefighters. And they found that the firefighters who could actually do the most push-ups, the thing that happened is they had fewer incidences of cardiovascular disease. So one of the best benefits of being able to do a push-up is you're going to prevent cardiovascular disease. And so just seeing how many push-ups you can do in 50 seconds, it's harder than it sounds. The firefighters who did 40 or more in the given amount of time that they have, I have a push-up challenge in my hacks, and so I have the exact time frame, but I believe it's 40 seconds. And if you can do over 40, these firefighters didn't have any cardiovascular disease. So what's your goal? And the goal for me is always over 40. Last time I did this test, I got to 42. And that was, I believe, the 40-second test. Okay, so that's test number 1 for upper body. Test number 2 is a plank hold. So the ideal health for a 50-year-old for a plank hold is going to be about 3 minutes long. So maybe you can't do that right now and you're going to feel all frustrated, or maybe you can't even do a push-up right now, which is no problem. Do a modified push-up, be on your knees. If you can't do a push-up when you're on your knees on the ground, do a push-up against the wall, and to see how many you can do in 50 seconds, because that's what your baseline levels are going to be. And then go to plank hold, and that's 3 minutes. And so see what you can do on a plank, because both of these exercises, and push-ups in particular, I've been doing push-ups my entire life since I was about 12. I've done push-ups nearly every day. But the key to doing these and doing a plank hold properly is engaging your core, because then when you're doing your push-ups, it doesn't feel like it's all in your chest and your triceps and arms. You actually can feel your whole body moving as you go up and down. And then that's same with the plank hold, is you're squeezing your arms back and your feet together, your arms and feet together, as if you're trying to touch them, even though you're on solid ground. That's one of the little secrets you can do to get a longer plank hold, and then just relax. Once you have it all firm and tight, then relax. Pull-ups. Of fitness 50 age, someone at age 50 who can do 8 pull-ups is considered very fit. As a male, a female, it's 4 pull-ups. So how many pull-ups can you do? And then one of my favorites is the grip test dead hang. And so the fitness goal for that one is 90 seconds. So imagine just hanging on like monkey bars. How long can you hold on to that? And the interesting thing is when you improve your grip strength, then it actually trains your brain to tell the rest of your body that you are not ready to be recycled. You're going to live to be live to be old, and you're going to be going for it. So see how long you can hold your dead hang. So that's upper body. And if you guys have any insights or say, oh, what about this test or that test? I'm happy to share with you what I found in my research. Okay, lower body. Here's the lower body strength. So important. So number one, how many squats can you do in 50 seconds? And if you don't have the good strength and range of motion and you need to squat onto a chair and stand up, that's totally fine. But just time yourself. And the nice thing about this, this podcast is you listen to it later, is you can put it on pause and then you can come back and listen to the next exercise. So ideally just listen to this as you test yourself, and this will be here for quite some time. But how many squats can you do in 50 seconds? Number two, deadlift. You can take anywhere from 50 to 150 pounds and then see how many reps you can do in 50 seconds. So depending on what your strength levels are, we don't want you to hurt yourself. That's not the intention, but depending on how confident you feel in lifting a certain amount of weight, ideally you'll be able to get about 20 reps in. Okay, so go deadlifts, wall squat hold. So position your back against the wall, bring your feet about 12 inches away from the wall, and just sit down to a 90-degree angle and hold yourself for 60 seconds. If you're fit, if you're super fit, you're going to be able to do it for about a minute. And some of you may be able to do it longer. Some of you may want to work up to this. Lunges is the next one. How many lunges can you do in 50 seconds? And once again, this is a really good exercise because it helps with balance and strength in the quads and the glutes and a little bit of the hamstrings. So such a good exercise, and maybe even better for you than anything else. But how many lunges can you do in 50 seconds? And so ideally you'll be able to do about 30 lunges in 60 seconds if you're going at a nice clip. Okay, so that's lower body strength. So make sure you've got your upper body strength, your lower body. And yes, to do all of these exercises, there's core work that's involved. And there's a lot of different studies and opinions on sit-ups, but I didn't necessarily include sit-ups. Or you may be saying, oh, what about core? Because core is so critical. But all of these things require a massive amount of core strength. And I just think sit-ups, because of the way that sit-ups can, just cause some piriformis strain psoas strain. The psoas muscle just ends up doing most of the contracting, and you can end up with some back issues if you're chronically working on sit-ups. Not to say don't do that, but I just didn't feel like it was one of those real crucial movements. If you're doing all these other things, you're going to have a super strong core. But keep doing your side bends and sit-ups, and please don't lose that butt, according to I don't remember the rapper's name, but the 90s rapper.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. There we go. Yes. So so there you go. You heard it first here on Go Wellness. You can do side bends or sit-ups, but please don't lose that butt. That's why I want you doing lunges, wall squat holds, squats, deadlifts. Okay, balance and coordination. Sit to stand. Now, this is an interesting one because you start in a standing position, and you're going to set your timer for 50 seconds, and it's going to be go. And then you're going to sit down flat on your butt. Your legs are going to extend out, and then you're going to bring your legs in, and you're going to use your hands to push yourself straight up. And that's called sit to stand. How many of those can you do in 50 seconds? And ideally, you're standing up on both feet at the same time. And so a really good number to get in 50 seconds is going to be 5 or 6 of these. Hey everybody, Regan Archibald here. I hope you enjoyed the Go Wellness show and maybe learned a couple things you could apply to your practice. If you're a healthcare entrepreneur who wants to work in an academic think tank with like-minded humans who are just like you, looking to provide better service, better quality of care for your patients,
reach us at info@gowellness.com, and we're happy to do a free practice analysis for you.